Action.
Hello everyone, we are group 2. My name is Lan Fei.
My name is Rita Wang.
I'm Wing Chen.
I'm Chloe Liu.
Today we are talking about innovation and marginalized identities. In society, not all people can get good opportunities and development. Some people can't get jobs, some people can't use their talent. The most obvious inequities is against women and race. In history, both women and minorities have been treated unfairly. They are always on the back foot. In life and work, they are often influenced by traditional thought. For example, women are in technology field from a long time, but they are secret and hidden under the society. Black people often find it harder to get a good job than white people. And some people even think that women need to stay at home and dependent on men. These problems deserve attention. And then let's see a video.
What's the point?
The point is, Your Honor, no Negro woman in the state of Virginia has ever attended an all-white high school. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
Unheard of.
And before Alan Shepard sat on top of a rocket, no other American had ever touched space. And now he will forever be remembered as the U.S. Navy man from New Hampshire, the first to touch the stars. And I, sir, I plan on being an engineer at NASA. But I can't do that without taking them classes at that all-white high school. And I can't change the color of my skin. So I have no choice but to be the first, which I can't do without you, sir. Your Honor, out of all the cases you're gonna hear today, which one is gonna matter 100 years from now? Which one is gonna make you the first?
What's the point?
Has anyone watched the movie Hidden Figures before? The movie is talking about how three excellent colored women who works as mathematicians and physicians at NASA. However, they experience racism and sexism in the workplace. The movie brings the story of three space heroes in NASA, Catherine, Dorothy, and Mary. They accomplish an extraordinary achievement, launch of astronaut John Glenn into orbit, which restores the glory of the U.S. They encounter many difficulties and challenges in the process of accomplishment. The movie sheds the light on the issues that Black people still experience today, such as inequality, racism, and sexism. Segregation policies were implemented at that time. The movie plot depicts the discrimination examples in that era. Segregations were everywhere. Black people were told to use segregated dining facilities and bathrooms. In the movie, as a woman of color, Dorothy has to settle in a community called Newsom Park. This neighborhood is designated for Black people. Catherine has to work in Langley Research Center, where the workplace is racially separate. Mary has a dream of becoming an engineer, but she needs to study a training program in order to transit from a mathematician to an engineer. But the courses are held in Hampton High School. She has to get approval of the city of Hampton to participate in the program. She goes before a judge to make her request. Finally, she gets approved for participation. In the early 20th century, American STEM fields were dominated by white male. It was hard for colored women to stand out in a group of white male, even though they were so brilliant, because people tend to agree white male were good at STEM fields. But without the contributions of women of color, the United States would have lost the space competition. This story showcases the significance of diversity and inclusion in technology field. Unfortunately, in today's workplace, diversity still lacks in technology area. The ratio of men to women is 4:1. There are so many women that are capable and smart in STEM fields. With the diversity in technology field, the innovation could make a big difference. NASA is one of the agencies in the US that represents innovation and technology. They must first make sure women have an equal seat at the table if they want to advance women in STEM fields. In conclusion, the diversity of contributions and teamwork environment facilitates the innovation.
People of color have long been excluded from being recognized for their technological achievements. They are overshadowed and dehumanized for what they have contributed despite what they have done. Let's take a look at one of the most famous scenes from our case study, Hidden Figures. And let's think about, how are people of color belittled? Why do they contribute despite knowing this and facing segregation and humiliation? And how can instances like this act as a precedent?
And I work like a dog day and night, living off of coffee from a pot none of you want to touch. So, excuse me if I have to go to the restroom a few times a day. And I
Though the scene on the surface seems like a racial justice issue over bathroom access, which was common because of Jim Crow laws segregating restroom, the underlying message is a criticism at the treatment of people of color in this specific industry, NASA, and the broader technological field. Black Americans were treated so poorly in their field, yet expected to contribute to American society. They were failed to be treated with the respect they deserve, yet despite what they were demanded. Only their white counterparts were recognized and treated accordingly. Let's take a look at a brief article about today's relationship between race and technology. Not only do people of color face discrimination when it comes to careers and progress in the technological field, new technology arises as a result of a racist agenda and roots. So for example, surveillance, facial recognition, ankle monitors, these are all types of technology that further racial inequality.
Right now, let's talk about gender inequality in the technological field. The female inventors in technological field suffers loss of equal treatment from the past to now. According to the rules Wardenzel, in the period of 20th and 19th century, the male elite want to hold their power and preserve the technology as their own specialty. With the rise of industrial capitalism, engineering was not a particular job for the elite. They faced the intense pressures for inclusion came from skilled labor, women, and African Americans. To maintain their status and protect their high position, crucially, this involved the creation of a male professional identity. Thus, technology and machine development was a symbol of masculinity, acting as a mediator between gendered social structures and identity. The society also exploited the patent right and reputation for women in technological field. Historian Autumn Stanley found that the compiler omitted one woman's invention for every 4 they recorded. The managers of patent office were not willing to admit that women have such a large power to get the right of the patent. These people want to exclude women from the technological patent field. Under the control of masculine society, women are hard to make the voice, even they were able to invent some techniques. Take the first computer, for example. 6 women programmed the first electronic computer, the ENIAC, during World War II, but weren't given any credit for this work. They were even identifying the photos as refrigerator ladies, models used to make products appear more alluring. Their groundbreaking work went unrecognized and unlauded for years. In February of 1946, just months after the end of the war, the world's first electronic computer was revealed to the public, but none of its female programmers were presented or named. the women artists have to deal with different power structure than male during the 19th and 20th century, and women need more chance and the right to speak out for their talents. However, the social structure is biased and linked to the male. Women in that century were extremely lack of political and economical right, even though women are able to invent everything. So it does not matter to show whether women have technological genius, but whether women have the equal access to society, economic resources as mandated. So right now, in our contemporary society, women have more ability to control earning in their life. However, they also suffer the discrimination. Only 24% of computer jobs including women, and almost 88% of all informational technological patents were by male-only invention teams. Women can control themselves, but they still face large bias. The stereotype towards women is still be here. For example, the media also use the blonde, long-haired girl as the stupid and dumb figure. Some women appear like this will be underestimated. So the gender discrimination is also associated with the media impression in the social judgment. In the past, under the male's control, women have no right to speak up. But now women's social power is getting stronger and stronger, but the bias still be here. When I searched the contemporary woman condition, lots of results showing this. Why bringing women into tech role is good for society. When I see this, I feel a little bit uncomfortable because this topic reflects the woman in tech field is abnormal and we need to bring the woman in. It's kind of like manipulations and controlling feeling, right? And women has been hidden in technological field in the past for a long, long time. Right now, human society realized that women's involvement is important, but the data showing here still substantiate that women achieving equality for women in the working place is just an illusion right now or in the future. In the recent year, a Pew Research poll found that the 50% of women can experience the gender discrimination at the working place, where only 19% of men said the same to be true for them. So the more people want to just imagine the beautiful future, the more women working in technological field leads the successful contribution to technology improvement. But there is few real nation and protect the rights in the working places. The same for the minority people. And that's it. Thank you so much.